Jayed. So we're starting with a new lesson today. It's الدرس الثالث وعشرون. الدرس الثالث وعشرون. The numbers, guys, right? The numbers. ثالث is three, a third, and the عشرون is what? 20. So 23 lesson. And the title, عنوان, the title means عنوان is في المساء, في المساء, in the evening. Okay, in the evening. Now, it says بعد صلاة العشاء جلست الأسرة في مدخل البيت. A lot of these things you are familiar with. I'll just quickly mention just to warm you guys up. So بعد, as you know, I've mentioned a lot about this type of words. They're ظرف, they're adverb, and then they always, this type of adverbs, they come as إضافة construction, like the positive construction. So this would be the مضاف, and this would be مضاف إليه. بعد الصلاة, same thing with قبل الصلاة, أمام المسجد, right? We talked about those things. So that's what's happening here after salah. But then this is also, we have a double إضافة. There's another إضافة construction, صلاة العشاء, the prayer of the Isha, the night prayer, right? And we know the Asha, Ghada and Asha, we talked about those. The Asha is what? The dinner. So بعد صلاة العشاء, after the night prayer, جلست الأسرة, remember this should be ta, في مدخل البيت. So the family sat, where did they sit? في مدخل البيت. We had these words before, مدخل البيت. What is مدخل? We had this one before. It is entrance. Okay, entrance. So when you say مدخل البيت, it is the entrance of the house, but what they refer to is, I don't know, I don't remember the exact English word. Some houses, especially big houses, they have it's not quite living room. Before, they have this place where people can sit. Okay. Now, so after the Isha prayer, the family sat in the front of the house or entrance of the house. يقرأ الجرائد. The father, يقرأ, what is he reading? Anybody knows what جرائد means? It is the plural of jarida. Jarida. What is jarida? Newspaper. Okay. While excuse me, I'm still having my throat problem. The throat is the last thing to go when you get sick. While it should be takhitu. While takhitu thiyab. And the mother is, what is khata yukhitu? Khata yakhitu. Jazakallah khair. We had this word before, I think. The past verb is khata. Khata yakhitu. It is to sew or stitch, right? So the mother is stitching what? A thiyab. Thiyab is clothes. Okay, we had these words also. I think this is the only word probably you're not familiar with. And also maybe jarida, I'm not sure if we had the word jarida before or not, but that's the word. Jarida, jaraid is the past tense. Sorry, the plural. Now, then we have al-baytu al-bintu tushahidu television. But this word, there's another word. This is the longer version. Television is same thing as TV, but the shorter one is tilfaz. You can say, just say tilfaz. Hold on a second. Tilfaz. Tilfaz also means television, like TV set, right? This is a mouthful one. The easy one is tilfaz. Television is just like, they try to say it, Arabize the English pronunciation, and which is always difficult. No. Then we have وَسَعِيدٌ يَلْعَبُ بِالطَّائِرَةِ. And the Sa'id, what is يَلْعَبُ? Very important verb. We had this one quite a lot of times, and it also comes in the Quran very often. لَعِبَ يَلْعَبُ. لَعِبَ يَلْعَبُ. Do you guys remember? Play, yes. And the Sa'id, he's playing bit-ta'ira. With ta'ira is the plane. Okay, we had these words also. Then next sentence we have Bakrun yaqra'u majmu'atan minal qasas. Now, and Bakr is reading majmu'a. What is majmu'a? Majmu'a is collection. So it's a group, a collection. Okay, so he's reading a collection minal qasas. Now, qasas means stories. The singular one is qissa. There's a little bit subtle difference. You can say qisas and you can say qasas. I just have to remember which one is what. One of them is like tales, another one is stories. They're very similar meaning, right? Tales and the stories. I think the qasas, it would be tales. I can quickly check. Yeah, so qasas is the tale and the qisas is the story. Okay, so just a little bit subtle different. You have qisas and qasas. Okay, so he is reading a collection. Now, the mean here, remember when we say mean, when we studied mean, what did we say the mean means? What is the standard meaning of the particle mean? From, yes. But what happens, a few things, again, the same situation keep on coming. So don't get confused with this fatha. You have to recognize your basic words. Okay, so it is mean, but because of alif lam, we put fatha. But the mean, we cannot translate from, you can say it, but the mean actually coming as of here. So you can say collection of tales. You can say he's reading a collection from the tales. It's probably not the best translation, but you can just say he is reading a collection of the tales. This kind of mean, there's a separate name for it. These means comes in the meaning of. Okay, keep that in mind. So far so good. It's very simple. What's happening ba'da salatil isha'i jalasatil usratu fi madkhali al-bayt. So after the Isha prayer, the family sat in the house entrance. Al-abu yaqra'ul jara'id. The father is reading the newspaper, while ummu takhitu thiyab, and the mother is sewing or the stitching the clothes. Al-bintu tushahidu television. The daughter or the girl, from the family context, we want to translate as a daughter, right? The daughter is, you guys know this word, right? Shahada. I don't know how I missed this one. Shahada. Yes, observing, yes, but direct meaning is to see, to watch. Okay, yes. Shahada, and the past tense is present tense is yushahidu. Then we read وَسَعِيدٌ يَلْعَبُ بِالطَّائِرَةِ, and the Sa'id is playing with the airplane, you know, the plane. وَبَكْرٌ يَقْرَأُ مجموعة من القصص, and Bakr is reading collection of tales. So moving to the next page, we have Al-Abu yatrukul yatrukul jara'ida wa yas'alu bakran. Okay, so let's do some analysis here. So let's analyze this this sentence. Al-Abu yatruku al-jara'id. The father, he leaves. Taraka yatruku, I think we had this verb before. Taraka yat what? Sorry, yatruku. Taraka yatruku, it's to leave, to leave. Leave meanings not that you leave. Leave means like you leave something. You understand? Taraktul kitaba fil bayt. Like I left left the book in the house. Okay, so that type of leave. You left something. You left your jacket. You left your keys. That type of leaving something, right? So we have, so the father is yatruku. He is leaving, or he leaves al-jara'id. So he leaves the newspapers. Okay, that's what it means. Wa yas'alu bakran. Okay, so you pay attention to these grammars. This is an object, and this is also an object. So, and he, what is yas'alu? Sa'ala, and then what? Yas'alu. Ask. Yes, this word comes tons of times in the Quran, of course. So ask, and he's asking, or he asked bakran. He's asking a bakar. Okay. Al-abu yatrukul jara'ida wa yas'alu bakran. The father leaves the newspaper and asks bakar. Al-ab. So the father saying, Mada taqra'u ya bakr. Okay. Mada taqra'u ya bakr. We should know exactly what it's saying. What are you reading, bakr, right? Remember, it's an old rule we came across a lot of times. One after ya, you cannot say bakrun anymore, right? Just keep that in mind. It's not a typo. You have to say after ya. It is. It doesn't take a tanween. Mada taqra'u ya bakr. So taqra, of course, you remember taqra can be she reads. Taqra can also be you read. So based on the context, you have to understand what it means. So the father is asking, what are you reading, Bakr? Bakrun, so Bakr asks, or rather answers, Aqra'u majmu'atan minal qasas, ya abi. Okay, I'm reading collection of stories. You understand? And I already mentioned to you this concept of ya, addressing someone with ya. It is very polite, very a good way of doing these things, like manners. Okay, so you're addressing somebody, it is very suitable that you address them by ya. Ya abati, you know, in the Quran comes ya abi, ya ibni, hakada. So he says, I'm reading now. Then father says, Iqra. This is a mistake. It should be a sukun here. Okay, it should be a sukun. Iqra is a command verb, right? Read. Okay, so you understand? So Iqra. Then one way you can find whether it's command verb or not. The first one, see, you think they're the same. They are not the same. This is alif or hamzatul wasl, rather. This is hamzatul wasl. And this is hamzatul wasl. You can think about weak hamza, and hamzatul qata means strong hamza. So the way you know the strong hamza, when you see the hamza in the alif, whether it's on the top or in the bottom. And when you don't see, this is your weak hamza. And weak hamza comes in the command verb. Okay, so iqra, read. Iqra li, read for me. This is a mistake. It should be qissatan. Okay, iqra li, read for me. Qissatan, a story. Okay, so this is a singular, indefinite. So read for me a story. Ajabat, ajabat ka ya bakru. Okay, so we have a very interesting verb. This verb is a little bit tricky, the way it is used. So the verb is ajaba, ajaba. So ajaba, it's not the same thing as ajiba. It's similar, but if you remember what I explained to you before, what happens when you add hamza in three-letter verbs, then you will kind of understand what's going on. Ajiba means to be amazed. Like, so for example, when it's ajiba, he was amazed. Ajibtu, I was amazed, something like that, right? But when you add hamza, then it becomes a little bit transitive. I don't know if you understand this concept here. It's a little bit advanced, but basically something that makes you amazed. So bottom line is, when you say ajaba, it means to be pleased. Pleased. Okay, meaning something pleased you, and that's why you have, see what's happening. Ajabat, this is a feminine. Why is it feminine? Who can tell me? Why do you think it's feminine? Ajabat. Then you will understand how it's been used, because this is really, I'm telling you, this verb is, the way we use this verb is a little bit tricky. It's not straightforward. So, but first you have to understand why we have this ta here. Why is it feminine? Why? Because the fathers are talking with the son. Where did this feminine come from? Story, excellent. So you see how it's being used. The story that amazed you or pleased you. You see how it's working? So so ajabat is referring to the story that pleased you. Okay, it's not the same thing as I'm pleased, which would be ajiba. Just be careful with this verb and the way it's used. Inshallah, it's coming a few times, so hopefully you'll get used to it. So the father is saying, Iqra li qissatan ajabatka ya Bakr. Read a story to me that pleased you. Now this ka, it is actually the object. So this would be the subject. That's why this verb is very confusing, because the qissa is actually the subject, and its subject means that this ta is referring to the qissa, which is the subject, but then the object is ka. Okay, for example, if he wanted to say, read for me a story that pleased Muhammad, how would you say it? Huh? So father is saying, read for me a story that pleased Muhammad. So you will just say ajabat, ajabat, ajabat Muhammadan, Muhammadan. You see? So this is your object. So this is the, instead of, but here we're not saying the pleased Muhammad, we're saying pleased you. So that's why we have this kaf. And I think we talked about this type of kaf. We use these kind of pronouns when we talked about possessive, like kitabuka, qalamuka, okay, baituka, baituki, right? Same thing. So if you wanted to say, read a story that pleased her or him, then you'd be ajabat who, right? So this I don't think we studied this type of complex conjugations in this book yet, but you're getting some flavor. So if you're very confused too much, I completely understand. Don't get to carry put too much pressure on you, but you will be seeing this type of verbs. These verbs itself is complicated, the way we use. On the top of that, we have the both subject, which is the ta, and the object. By the way, whether the ta is the subject or not, this is a little bit grammatical issue. I don't want to bring this up here. But the bottom line, we have the subject and object all connected with the verb. So it's a little bit complicated, right? So don't worry too much about this thing right now. As long as you get a little bit understanding how we are using the word ajaba. Okay, so iqra li qissatan ajabatka ya Bakr. Read for me a story that pleased you. Now, so then Bakr saying ajabatni. Okay, so you see what's happening. Ajabatni. This ta again referring to qissa, the story that pleased ni means me. Okay, so without explaining too much about this object pronouns, because I have a feelings, inshallah, in the future we will have proper lessons on the object pronouns. In Arabic, last time we studied the subject pronoun, right? The object pronouns for the verbs, it's almost like the possessive the possessive pronouns, just like this one. You say kita, you say kita buka, right? Kita buka is the same kaf in a way, right? It's the same one. But how do you say my book? In when we say, we want to say my book, kitabu what? Kita B. Excellent. So we have this here. In a way, we have exactly same here, because we're talking about me here, right? So the object pronoun is me, something that pleased me. It's this exactly same here as we have in the other possessive pronoun, but except what? What can you catch here? Anybody can catch some weird difference here? The noon, yes. Okay. What happens is that this is a more advanced topic. If you guys know, it's protecting from the verbs getting a kasra. But anyway, don't worry about those things. But just know the way we add ya in the verb, we cannot directly add ya. Just know this much for now. We cannot directly just say ajabati. We cannot say that. We need this noon. Okay, this noon is protecting the verbs getting a kasra. It's something that inshallah we will study in advanced grammar like Ajurumiyah. But what I want you to, the reason why I'm bringing this thing up, because don't think these are too complicated. It's exactly the same nouns we're getting. You can pretty much add any other pronouns that you know. Ajabat hu, ajabat ha, ajabat na, ajabat ka, ajabat ki. You can add pretty much all of them. And likewise, you can also add ya, something that we say me, my, except that when you add ya, you have to add a noon, extra noon. So this noon is not part of the verb. This noon is not part of the pronoun. This is just a protection between them. Makes sense, guys? This is I didn't want to drag this one too much, but that's what it is. If you still too complicated, don't worry, inshallah, these type of things will be coming. Now, so ajabatni, again, keep on making mistake here. Qissatun. See, now we know exactly which one is the subject. It's very clear because the subject, as we know in the verbal sentence, subject always comes after the verb. And we also have dhamma. So we know that qissa is the subject. And that's why we have ta here. So ajabatni qissatun bi'unwani. Remember, I just gave you this word in the beginning of the lesson. What is unwan? By the way, we have B here, bi'unwan. What is unwan? Title, yes, good. Remember, unwan has another meaning. Anybody know another meaning of unwan? Since you learned this word, might as well know both of them. And both of them are used extensively, in meaning both meaning. Another meaning is address. If somebody asks you, what is your address? They will say, ma unwanuk. Okay, it's the exactly same word. What is your address? That context, of course, nobody's asking what is your title. What they might, you have to understand what they mean. But here, the unwan means title. So the story, a story that pleased me, is by the title of what? Al-waladu ghabi. What is ghabi? Anybody know? Ghabi is like someone who's not that bright. Proper word would be stupid. Okay. Pretty strong word, but that's what it is. Ghabi is like someone who's not that bright. You get it? So he's saying that a story that interests me is by the title, the stupid boy or son, we don't know, we'll find out, because as you know, the walad can be boy and it also can be son. And then it goes taqulul qissatu. Okay, so the story says, meaning the story goes. So he's going to narrate the story. And this is the subject, and this is that's what you have to now. Kana. Kana. So let me read the sentence. Kana li ahadil abai waladun ghabiyun wa kathirul kalam. Kana is what? Kana means was. Okay, this is was. This is very, very important verb. You obviously know why, because of the usage of was, but it also has a lot of many grammatical implications, which probably we're not going to discuss here now, but inshallah in the future. So, right now, only thing you have to know that whatever comes after kana, that sentence, just put it into past tense. Simple as that. Just to give you a simple example, if you say Muhammadun what? Saghirun. What is Muhammadun Saghirun means? Muhammad is small, whatever that means. But if you add kana, the few grammatical notation will change. I'm not going to talk about this one right now. Maybe I can talk. Depends. We just say the same thing. Instead of saying is, the kana is the past tense of is, which is was. So instead of saying Muhammad is small, if we say kana Muhammadun, then it will change a little bit here. It will be saghiran. Then we will say Muhammad was small. Okay, so it's a very simple ways of making something into past tense. Okay, and so let's see what happened. So kana li ahadi abai. So what does that mean? Li ahadi aba. What do you think? So here we'll be spending a little bit time analyzing. Hopefully, I really want to finish this. Li, we know what li. Okay. Li ahadi abai. If we go just word for word, and then maybe we can improve the translation later. Li is what? Li is for, right? For ahad, yes, that would be better translation. But if you go to word for word, you will see what happens. For one of, because this is idafa construction, as you can see, one of the fathers. Aba is a plural of what? Ab. Aba is the plural of ab, abun. So kana li ahadi aba waladun Waladun is, since we're talking about father, so of course walad we will translate as son. So okay, son, Rabi. And first of all, Rabi we said stupid. So as you can see, this is what type of construction we have here. Waladun Rabiyun. How would you translate? Adjective, excellent. So a stupid or stupid son. Yeah, stupid boy, stupid son. Yeah, something like. Wa kathirul kalam. What is kathirul kalam means? What do you think? What is kalam? Did we have this word before? Kalam means speech, like talk. Speech. Okay. So basically saying too much talk, talks too much, exactly what it means. Now let's see if we can translate in English. So who can translate this one for me? If you understand what's going on, just make sure you put it in the past tense. It's very tough for me to translate. We can say for one of the father, there was a stupid son and who talks a lot, you know, something like that. If anybody can have a better translation, please write it down. In the meantime, let me continue. قال له أبوه. Okay, قال له أبوه. So who said to who? Who is the subject? Who is saying? So the father is saying to him, Qala lahu abuhu. And then because the abuhu, this is your subject. And I don't know if we mentioned that this type of word in Arabic, we have 5 special words. One of them is akh, another one is ab, and the other ones we don't have to worry about them right now. They are very special word in Arabic. We call Asma'ul Khamsa. They are from one of the 5 very special words in Arabic language, whose they have a little bit different way of grammar rules when they come in a possessive form. Okay, so abuhu means his father. So this ab will get one extra wow here. Okay, so this is something we cannot spend too much time talking about this one, but I just wanted to mention that so that you understand that this is the same ab, father. And you might wonder, well, what's going on with the wow? Instead of adding dhamma, we add wow to make it into in the subject. For example, instead of saying abu hu, okay, sorry, abuhu, because you know, like same thing as kitabuhu, right? Kitabuhu. We cannot, in these special words, we cannot just simply add dhamma and then add a possessive pronoun or even possessive noun. They take a special ruling. You have to add a waw. Abuhu. And there are some other changes when we, instead of adding fatha, inshallah, if it comes, I will show you. For now, just to make sure this is the same word, ab, father. So the father said lahu to him. Okay, the father said to him, إِذَا تَكَلَّمْتَ فَاخْتَصِرْ. Okay, إِذَا تَكَلَّمْتَ فَاخْتَصِرْ. So, you know, the book is giving you a lot of interesting and advanced sentence structure, but unfortunately, if I cannot explain to you this every detail rules here, because this we have a conditional statement, which is very difficult in Arabic language. There's a lot of rules. Okay, so instead what I'll do is I'll just simply translate for now. Okay, so just get used to these, some of the words. Either is if, And it can also say when, but we use them in a conditions. Like when you do something, do it like that. Or if you go this way, something like that. Okay, you see how we're using the if and when. So either has the same meaning. So either we can choose any one of this meaning here. I think the meaning will be same. Takallamta. So did we have this verb takallama? Takallama. Do you know what it means? Speak. Yes. Takallama yatakallamu. 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 Takallama yatakallamu means to speak, talk. Okay. And what is takallamta then? How would you translate takallama? What is takallamta? When you talk. But just like in first question is this verb present tense or past tense? The verb takallamta, yes, you masculine, but is it in the present past tense? Yes, just keep that in mind, then I will explain something. So this is in the past tense. So literal translation would be you talked or you spoke, okay, in the past tense. I'll come back to the meaning later. Then we have fa. This fa is again, this fa in Arabic language has lots of meanings. Right now, just think about a comma, like, gap. Right now, this fa is not making a lot of meaning. It's not adding a lot of meaning, but it has grammatical reasons why this fa exists. But right now, we can just simply ignore for the meaning, and then let's see how it goes. You can the standard fa means so. We had this fa before, but it's sometimes we don't have to translate. If we translate, we get into trouble. Sometimes fa comes just for the grammar reasons, not for you to translate something. Okay. The verb we have ikhtasar. Okay. Ikhtasara. Ikhtasara. Yakhtasiru. Ikhtasara yakhtasiru. 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 Ikhtasara yakhtasiru. Means ikhtasar means what? To shorten something. Okay? You understand? To summarize, to make it short. So ikhtasara, when you say this is a past tense, you say ikhtasara Muhammad kalamuhu or kalamahu. Muhammad shortened his speech. You understand? So this is how it comes to shorten. Shorten. Very good word, right? As you can see, the verbs that we're getting, it's getting stronger and stronger. But guys, these are extremely important verbs. But it's coming as a what? What is the tense, or what type of verb? Is there past, present? What type of verb here? This one. Amr, yes. So it's a command verb. And your best clue is the sukun. Okay, so it's asking to shorten. So now let's go back to the sentence. إِذَا تَكَلَّمْتَ فَاخْتَصِرْ. Just like in English, when we say if, we often use the past tense verb to mean something in the future, right? If you came, I would do something. So we use the past tense, but we mean the future. So that's exactly what's happening here. Okay. So we are using the past tense, but it means the future, meaning if you speak, shorten. That's what his father is advising him, right? إِذَا تَكَلَّمْتَ فَاخْتَصِرْ. If you speak, shorten it, meaning shorten your speech. Do you understand these things? As I'm keep on telling you, the book is not trying to give you a lot of grammatical notions what's going on, although there are lots of them here. I haven't even scratched the surface what's going on here, but you have to get used to this kind of sounds, this kind of structure. You hear them in the Quran, إِذَا جَاءَ, you hear a lot of these idhas coming. So you don't have to just hide away from it, shy away from it. At least just get used to what's going on. Later, as you develop your language skills, you can get in deep and find out exactly how to use them and what's going on, right? So right now, the main thing I want you to know, either means either comes for a conditional statement, and you can translate as if or when. Then after either, we get a past tense. You know what? I don't even want to mention those rules. So that's one thing. And second thing you have to know, takallama yatakallamu, it means to speak, and ikhtasara yakhtasiru, it means to shorten. Okay, so as long as you understand these things, and then you know the meanings of each of these words, you can glue them together, and then you can translate. You would know exactly what the father is trying to say. So qala lahu abuhu, the father said to him, إِذَا تَكَلَّمْتَ فَاخْتَسِرْ, when you speak, shorten it. Does the fa come with the not always? Okay, so the rule is not that if you say either that you have to bring fa. No, that is not the case all the time. There are some rules. One of the rules is that when you have a command verb after that. Okay, so if it wasn't command verb, we wouldn't need there's other rules also, right? So that I don't want to give you the whole bunch of rules here, because it's you have to know how to use either, right? Jayid. Let's continue. Ada. What is ada? Did we have this verb? Ada al-waladu yawman fasa'alahu abuhu. So what is ada? A lot of verbs, guys. You will really appreciate these verbs. Ada ya'idu. Do you know? Very good verb is to return. Okay, to return. Not to bring, but to return. Okay, so for example, Ada Muhammad min amali. Muhammad came from his, or returned from his work. Okay, Ada means to return. So Ada al-waladu. Okay, so we know who returned, the boy. The boy returned, and this is a past tense. The boy returned yawman. What do you think the yawman means here? It's coming as an adjective. Not sorry, adjective, I mean the adverb. So it's saying that one day the boy returned, or the boy returned one day. Fasa'alahu. So here we have this fa, but you'll see it has a different meaning here. Fasa'ala, we just had the verb sa'ala. So how would you translate? Forget about the fa right now. How would you translate sa'alahu? Sa'alahu. How would you translate this? Asked him. He asked him. Exactly. Him. Right? So what's happening is we have, again, the same thing. This text is giving you lots of object pronoun. Same thing. Ajabatka. So it pleased you. Ajabatni. It pleased me. So you have the subject and you have the object. Okay, so that's what's happening. So right now, just get used to hearing and understanding the concept, not too much how do you do this and that, whatnot. This is not the time right now. The book is just trying to give you like overburden or overload you with this type of thing. So which is a good thing. You're seeing one type of word structure a lot. So this should be a very good clue that maybe the book will explain these things in the future lessons. Okay, and as you can also see that the pronouns that we're getting, these are the same pronouns as the possessive pronouns we had. Kitabuhu, qalamuhu, it's the same ha, right? So sa'alahu. So sa'alahu abuhu, who asked? His father. Again, this wow Okay, it's the father. Wow, because it is the subject. So how would we translate? Ada al-waladu yawman fasa'alahu abuhu. We can say, the boy returned one day, so or then his father asked him. Okay, his father asked him. Is it clear? عاد الولد يوما فسأله أبوه. The boy returned one day, uh, or then his father asked him. What did he ask him? Aina kunta. Aina kunta. So what is kunta? It's the same verb that we just talked about, kana. Okay. So, and what's happening? This ta is the same ta as dhahabta. Dhahabta. You went. It's the same ta. So, but what happened? So it looks a little bit different because, if I'm supposed to add ta here, it should be what? It should be ka, not, na kan, kun, sorry, here. This is a very difficult to explain with the proper. It should be like something like that, right? Kanta, something like that. But there's a lot of change happen. One of the reasons is, I'm just going to give you very simple reasons without going too much in conjugations. Inshallah, we'll do a very proper conjugation of kana. But what's happening is that the first, since you are at this point, you have to know some of the basic fundamental of Arabic language. So this is something that I'm trying to explain here. The first thing that should be buzzing in your head is, let me write this properly so you can see the problem. You have, if I write like this, kanta, because zahabta, remember we have a sukun here, zahabta, so you should have a sukun here. The first thing that should bother you when you look at it, how do you change it? That's, we will learn later. But the first thing should bother you that we have a problem here. Who can, spot the problem when we have a sukun here? Who can spot the problem? Yeah, so we have, the problem is that we have alif here, and you know that alif always have has a sukun. So we have two sukuns together. This never happens in the Arabic language. This never happens. We cannot have two sukuns side by side. So somebody has to sacrifice. So as you can see, the one to sacrifice is the weak letters or the vowels. So alif is we're not going to remove noon because that's a consonant. Rather, we'll remove alif. So this is why the alif is going, and then y is from the fatha to dhamma. Those things, inshallah, when we do proper conjugations, we'll know. I'm just trying to give you where it's coming from, okay? Without going too much in detail. So it's the same thing. Kuntu means you were. Kana is he was. Kuntu, or sorry, what am I saying? Kunta is you were. Kuntu means I was. Let me give you a little bit some of them so you are familiar with this verb. Kana and kunta and kuntu. I'll just give you just a few of them. Kuntu. Okay, so let me give one more. Kanat. Now you might get confused what's going on here. Kanat. Here we don't have a problem because why don't we have a problem here? Because look, noon has a haraka. Noon doesn't have sukun. So what's the problem? There's no problem. So that's why we can keep the way it is kanat, because this is the feminine, like she was, the feminine always take the sukun at the end. So when we put a sukun at the end, we don't have any problem. But the other ones takes the sukun before the end letter. Okay, so that's why we have a problem here. Anyway, inshallah, when we do keep on telling you, when we do these conjugations, we will walk through it. But right now, just get familiar with this verb, with some of its conjugations. Kana, kanat. Kana is he was. Kanat, she was. Kuntu, I was. Kunta, you were. Then how would we say you were in the feminine? How would we say you were for the feminine? Kunti. Excellent. That's it. So right now, just memorize. kunti. جيد. So the question is aina kunta, where were you? Right? Where were you? Today we'll just probably read this page and leave the other one for the next time, inshallah. فقال الولد. So father is asking, where were you? So fa, see here, fa we can translate so. We can say so. فقال الولد, because father is asking, where were you? So when we say fa here, it has a meaning. It means so. قال الولد. So the boy said, kuntu. See, same thing. We just talked about kuntu. I was fi suq. What is suq? Shop, market, yes. So I was in a market. I was in a market. Kuntu fi suq. I was in a market. فقال الأب. Now, very interesting. You can keep on saying so, the father said. You can keep on translating this one is so. But what is another way you can translate fa here? Then, excellent. So you already start seeing the beauty of this fa and how dynamic this fa is. In one case, we couldn't translate. There's no word to translate. There's nothing to translate. Another time it comes as a so, another time it comes then, so this is the power of fa. And it is very, very used in speaking and also, normal Arabic reading and writing. فقال الأب, then the father said, zid. So zid. What is zid? It is the command verb of zada. Zada yazidu. Zada yazidu. What is zada? Is increase. Yes, increase or add. So zid al alifa. Why is it fatha? Because it's the sub object. Zid al alif wal lam. Increase or add alif and lam. So the father is saying, the boy said, kuntu fi suq. I was in a, indefinite, in a market. The father said, zid al alif wal lam. Add the alif and lam. Faqal al waladu. The boy said, fi suqal. So father asked him to add alif and lam. So he added alif and lam, but he added alif and lam at the end, right? He says suqal. You get what he's doing? فَقَالَ لَهُ أَبُوهُ. So then his father said, قَدِّمْ. قَدَّمَ. What is قَدَّمَ? Another very, very important word. قَدَّمَ. Do you know what the قَدَّمَ is? We had this one before, right? It has many different meanings. So like it also means to present, to offer something. But قَدَّمَ here also means to bring it front, to make it from, make it before, bring it front, right? So qaddama, like make it front. This is the meaning we have here. And this is the way we have it. Qaddim means it's a command verb. Qaddim al alifa wal lam. Okay, so the father is saying, no, not at the end. Qaddim, bring it front. Bring it front, bring it before. So faqala al walad, the boy said, alifun lamun suq. So the boy just literally added alif lam suq. He has no idea what he's doing. Okay, so this is what's going on in the story. Dahika. So dahika, what is dahika? We had this one. Laugh, yes. So dahika yadhaku. 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 To laugh. Okay, so who left? Al-ab. Dahikal abu wa sa'ala Bakr. So the father left and asked Bakr. Do you want me to just finish it or do you want to stop here? Okay, so inshallah we'll wrap up here. Next time we will continue and finish.